If you're an Amazon seller, you already know that reviews are pretty much everything, right? They build trust, they drive sales, they basically define your success on the platform. But there's a catch. One wrong move when you're asking for those reviews, and you could be looking at account suspension. So let's crack the code on how you can get the reviews you need without risking it all.
This really is the million-dollar question for every single seller. It feels like you're walking a tightrope, you know? You absolutely need reviews to grow your business, but that rulebook is thick, and the penalties, they're severe. So how do you actually get more reviews while staying 100% compliant? That's exactly what we're going to break down right now. Here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the core problem, the big dilemma. Then, we'll look at a simple tool as a kind of case study to really understand the rules. After that, we'll run through a super clear compliance checklist and even peek at Amazon's own technical blueprint for proof. And finally, we'll boil it all down to the most important takeaways for staying safe.
Okay, let's dive into that core conflict. I like to call it the Amazon review dilemma, because it's truly this high-stakes balancing act that can make or break a business on the platform.
Think about it like this. On one side of a scale, you've got the reward. More good reviews mean you rank higher, people trust you more, and you get more sales. Simple. But on the other side is the risk. One wrong step in how you ask for a review, and it could be totally unintentional, and that scale can tip, costing you absolutely everything. So to really wrap our heads around the principles of compliance, it helps to look at a real-world example. We're going to take a look at a tool that's designed to be what I call a simple signpost. Its only job is to point customers in the right direction. The tool is called ReviewPathe, and what makes it such a great example is actually what it doesn't do. It doesn't collect reviews, it doesn't filter them, it has zero control over the process. All it does is create a direct path, a QR code or a link that takes a customer straight to Amazon's official review page for that product. That's it, nothing more. The whole idea is just to be a clean, simple bridge. The goal isn't to interfere or get in the middle of anything, it's just to make it a little easier for a customer who already wants to share their thoughts. And the journey for the customer? It couldn't be more direct. A customer scans the code on your product insert, and boom, they land instantly on the Amazon page to write a review for that exact product. The key here, and this is so important, is that the entire review process happens on Amazon's turf, following Amazon's rules.
This brings us to a really crucial distinction, the signpost versus the gatekeeper. A compliant tool is just a signpost. It neutrally points everyone, happy, unhappy, somewhere in between, to the exact same place, the official Amazon review page. But a non-compliant tool, that acts like a gatekeeper. It might ask something like, did you have a good experience? If you say yes, it sends you to Amazon. If you say no, it sends you to customer support. That filtering, that's a huge violation.
Okay, so let's actually put this signpost model to the test. We're going to run through a compliance checklist that's based directly on Amazon's own core policies. This checklist really breaks down the 4 golden rules. First up, no incentives. That means no discounts, no gift cards, absolutely nothing in exchange for a review, period. Second, no review gating. Like we just talked about, you can't filter your customers. Third, no manipulation. The link has to go straight to Amazon, no weird intermediate pages trying to track users. And finally, your request has to be neutral. You can ask for an honest review, but you can never ask for a positive. So the bottom line is this. A compliant tool is just a shortcut. It's a convenience for the customer. The moment they scan that code or click that link, they are operating entirely inside Amazon's world. And that clean separation is what keeps the seller safe.
All right, let's get a little technical for a second. Because believe it or not, we can find proof of compliance right inside Amazon's own blueprint, the structure of their URLs. And this isn't just a suggestion. Amazon puts it in black and white in their prohibited seller activities policy. It says you cannot, under any circumstances, divert negative reviews or selectively solicit positive reviews. You could say this is the central commandment of review compliance. And this right here, this is how you honor that commandment. A compliant tool uses the official, unaltered Amazon URL for creating a review. This link goes straight to the right page and is identified by the product's unique ASIN, or Amazon Standard Identification Number. You can think of the ASIN as the product's unique fingerprint on Amazon. Using this official link is like following a map drawn by Amazon itself. And hey, if you want to go straight to the source, which I highly recommend, these 3 documents are your guide. You've got the customer reviews policy, the community guidelines, and the prohibited seller activities policy. These are the official rulebooks that govern the entire system. So, after breaking all of that down, what's the final word? Let's distill all this into the most important takeaways for any seller who's just trying to stay compliant.
Here it is. If you remember one single thing, let it be this. The key to compliance is neutrality. Your job as a seller is to make it easy and convenient for a customer to share their honest opinion. It is not your job to influence that opinion or filter who gets to share it. Be a helpful signpost, not a biased gatekeeper.
Now, just for some really important clarity here, it is crucial to understand that a tool like ReviewPathe is an independent platform. It's not affiliated with or endorsed by Amazon in any way. And this is huge. Amazon's policies can and do change, so you must always refer back to the official documentation as the ultimate source of truth. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. If the goal is simply to remove the friction, to make it easier for everyone, the happy customers, the unhappy ones, and everyone in between, to leave a review, does that ultimately create a more authentic and trustworthy marketplace for all of us? It's definitely something to consider.